Oh, hi. Thanks for clicking on my video. Today I'm reviewing this book, Think Better, and I'm going to review the preface and the first chapter, Why Think Better. So, and then afterwards, I'm going to talk a bit about how reading this book has improved my ability to think. Yeah, so anyways, we'll start at the preface. Maybe I'll put some of the things up up here for you. First part of the preface, um, Tim Hurson tells the history of the book. This book is based on his productive thinking model, I think. Yeah. So he discusses how it came about, who mentored him, and that. But on the second page, he says the premise of Think Better is that success in our business, professional, and personal lives is a matter of what we know. Is less a matter of what we know and more of how we think. So if you learn how to think better, you do better. Doing his way of thinking, productive thinking, is a game changer. And the good news is that productive thinking is a skill that anyone can learn and develop. Anyone. So, and he goes over what's in each chapter. And I'll read the last paragraph. The productive thinking model is straightforward to learn, practical to implement, and it works. And it works. With the right attitude, the right approach, the right skills, we can all think better. Wouldn't that be nice, eh? So now we're going to move on to first chapter is Why Think Better. Why Think Better. And underneath it is a picture of caterpillars following each other, just following each other. And he tells the story of these caterpillars. That's the first story in the book, and he goes on and he develops a really good example of repetitive thinking. How we learn things. This is how we learn things. We do the same thing every day, and for the most part, that works. It works a lot. I mean, you wouldn't have to think about how am I going to tie my shoes today. You have routines. You follow your routines. Your routines are good until they no longer work. You have a routine for warming your coffee in the microwave, and you do it the same way every day, and then one day it doesn't work. Well, your routine doesn't help you fix that. You have to go over to productive thinking. There's two parts to productive thinking. One part is creative thinking. You try to think of different ways what's wrong with the microwave, and then you have analytical thinking. Well, maybe we should check to see if the plug is plugged in, right? So, but the first part of the book is about these caterpillars, and they end up having these caterpillars walking around and around and around in a circle, and they just keep going, keep doing the same thing until they die of exhaustion. So what worked well for the caterpillar, following each other, not getting lost out in the tall grass and stuff, it works well till it doesn't work, till some researcher puts us into a circle and we're following each other and we're not going anywhere. That's what happens. Ever feel that then you're just doing the same thing over and over and nothing works and nothing's getting better. That would be a good reason to learn how to think better, I would say. Yeah. So here it says, at its heart, productive thinking is about freedom. It's about freedom. It's about stepping back from your habits and saying, are these still working for me? How could I do this better? I often say that, and I often think to myself, how can I improve my situation? How can I improve my memory? How can I develop a habit that supports, encourages brain growth, right? So how do I understand this book better? Yeah, so he said, at its heart, productive thinking is about freedom. It's a way of escaping the tyranny of routine. So, and he said, but, thinking better is hard work. It's hard work. It can be risky. It certainly can make you unpopular. And so why not just keep doing what you're doing, right? It's safer just to keep doing what we're doing. A lot of people believe that. It's better to just keep doing what we do. Do what we know we can do, right? So the next section of the chapter is one of the reasons for reading this book and learning to think better is that there's plenty of room for improvement. And you might say, there's nothing wrong with the way I think. Well, why should I change the way I think? You're not going to get me to change the way I think. And there's an answer to that. It's everything is perfect just the way it is. Your thinking is perfect just the way it is. We're not challenging. We're not saying you don't think right. We're not saying that. What we're saying is there's plenty of room for improvement, and you can then benefit from that improvement. So one of the exercises to lift yourself from the routine, the repetitive thinking, to what he calls reproductive thinking. He has reproductive thinking and productive thinking. It took me a while to catch that. That's slightly different, right? It's sort of opposing systems. You do your routine, but then there's times you have to switch over to creative thinking and analytical thinking. And you're thinking, oh, I don't do analytical thinking very good anymore. But one way to improve that, improve your creative thinking, is to ask better questions. And here's an example of a question he asks in the first chapter. Wouldn't it? Well, I guess it's not a question. It is a question. And wouldn't it be great if? Wouldn't it be great if we could think better? Wouldn't it be great if I could go on a long trip by myself? Wouldn't it be great if I had an unlimited supply of money? Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. So that's a way to stimulate your creative thinking. You think of, well, how can I have a lot of money? Oh, I could design a new balloon, or I could design a new widget, a new app for my phone. So the second reason he says for wanting to learn to think better is it's not what you know. You can have all kinds of knowledge, but it's how you think, how you apply that knowledge, how you solve problems with the knowledge you have. So you have to know how to think clearly, creatively, analytically, and repetitively too. It's all part of it. He says, and there's a box here, the ability to think better will soon become the most significant competitive advantage for companies and individuals to claim. Thinking better is what it's all about. Thinking better. And thinking better, the third reason is thinking better is a skill. It's a skill you can learn. People kind of don't even think about, I could think better. I could think, oh, maybe I'm having this problem, and most people think that the problems are out there. If only he would change, or if only they would give me more money. If I had more money, things would be better. What if you could think better? Would things be better? Oh, I can think better? It doesn't even occur to people that, oh, maybe I could change. Maybe I can improve the way I think. And then things would work better for me. Yeah. So a lot of people just think that thinking, you don't change your thinking. That's just something you do. No, thinking is something that can be learned, and you can learn to think better. So, and then another part, he goes into, I don't think this is a reason, I think this is just an add-on to the chapter, is when you start using his model of productive thinking and using the creativity exercises and the analytical things, then what you do is you find, this is the key, you find an unexpected connection. And there's an illustration I'll put up here of a guy plowing a TV. A guy plowing a field, but when you look around the field, it's a TV. And then there's a whole story about it. In 1927, this guy was watching somebody plow a field, and he thought, oh, you could just scan something like this back and forth, scan it back and forth, and then reproduce it. And that's how TV was born. Yeah. So, and then I got this highlight. You can actually train yourself to think better. The more you practice, the better you get. The better you get, the more opportunities you will have to make a better world, a better life. So yeah, so that's chapter 1. Why think better? Can you see why it might be a good idea to learn how to think better? Well, you could say, oh, I can't think better. I can't even think. I can barely think at all. What makes you think I could think better? Well, how has reading this book affected me? Well, I made the first video. I wasn't happy with it. I thought, oh, I'm not even going to publish this. I was repeating myself a lot. I noticed I repeat myself a lot. Do you notice that I repeat myself a lot? Oh, am I repeating myself a lot right now? At least now I'm aware of it. I'm aware that I repeat a lot. This is something I've been with this book, I've been able to step back from my thinking a bit and see, oh, I'm thinking repetitively now. Oh, I got an idea. Oh, I could do that. Oh, that's creative thinking. And then there's the other thing. Well, how could you do it? That's the analytical part. Okay, well, we gotta put this here, and then we'll put that there, and then we'll go ahead and do this, right? So, and I'm more comfortable having conversations. I am more comfortable having conversations. A lot of times, I go into social situations, I'm a little nervous. Could say something wrong. I might not remember a word when I want to. I might hurt somebody's feelings. I have a lot of I'm guarded. I'm guarded when I'm around others. I'm kind of guarded because I lose a lot of arguments. I lose a lot of discussions because being right is not that important to me. Being right is not that important to me. So what have I been doing? Well, I'm working at improving these videos. I created a playlist for this series of videos on how to reviewing the book Think Better. I have a playlist called Think Better now on my YouTube channel under the playlist, and that's where all these videos will be. And I made one for I Can Do This, and that's working quite well. I can go there and play my song. I can find my song to exercise with every day, and that's a good way for me to get in there and loop it. And so I'm making a playlist for this. And during this thing, I've reread Why Think Better several times. And I think I have a pretty good understanding of it now. I'm able to pivot easily. I can if someone says, oh, let's do this before we do that, yeah, okay, I can do that. I'm thinking better in real time. You know, I don't have to plan everything out and try and control everything. I can just sort of go into a situation and deal with it. So after producing this video, researching this video, and reading the first chapter, I've read a bit into the second chapter. I'm feeling more confident that I can do this. I can make videos about this book. I can explain the book, and by doing that, I'm getting a better understanding of this productive thinking model. Yeah. And I think I'm confident I can think better than what I have been. So this is the end of episode 2. Look forward to seeing you in episode 3. We're going to go into I'll give you a teaser to it. It's the next chapter is Monkey Mind, Gator Brain, and the Elephant's Tether. That's the name of the chapter. Monkey Mind, Gator Brain, and the Elephant's Tether. I wonder what those words mean. Okay. Bye for now. Hope you have a great day.